All right. So today I want to start off with a quote. It's not really a quote from anyone super famous or anything like that, but I thought that it was a fun one to get started because it's pretty relevant in this one. So it's from Atmosphere, who is a rapper, and it says, "The sunlight hit me dead in the eye, like it's mad that I gave half the day to last night." Now, if you're anything like me, my brain tells me things that don't exist. Which is pretty funny because it tells me these things and I believe them, which is even wilder. I used to drink a lot, and one of the main reasons why I stopped for such a long time was because of exactly that. I would wake up in the morning, well, like noon, which is just awful, and I'd walk outside and I'd get a cup of coffee and I would instantly be mad at myself. And I would instantly be mad at myself because I had given half the day to the night before. And I'm not saying that that's like the worst thing in the world, or that you shouldn't be having a good time, or I was just pushing it too much. I would drink until 3-4 o'clock in the morning and then sleep until noon, and waste half of my day and then feel like garbage until 4 o'clock. Pull myself together, have a shower, and get ready for work and go and do it all over again. But I just remember those feelings, and then nowadays, like, if I do decide to have a cocktail, it's one or two here and there, and then the next day I usually have to try and still talk myself off the ledge. Now, it seems to be getting easier and easier to talk myself off the ledge. However, it's getting less and less frequent that I drink. So I think that those things are correlating with each other from the point of view of me going, well, I'm just not going to drink because then I don't have to talk myself off the ledge. But my brain does this with everything. It creates scenarios that have not even happened. Have you ever had one of those dreams that, like, you wake up next to your partner and you're mad at them instantly because they've been cheating on you in your dream, and you're mad at them, which is the wildest thing in the world, but your brain has told you that it's happened. It's hilarious because those ones are the ones that you can get over pretty easily. Well, you should. If you can't get over that, then you're a child. But anyway, because it's not real. It's like Santa Claus, okay? But what I mean is, I think that you need to stop tricking yourself into not letting yourself be happy. Stop trying to focus on those things that are the negatives. Or stop trying to think about things that people may say about you, or should say about you, or could say about you, or would say about you. You can't control what other people are going to say, so let them say it, and that's okay. Like, that's their opinion, and everyone's entitled to their opinion. And that's totally fine. And like my dad used to say, opinions are like assholes. Everyone's got one. So yeah, just ignore the haters. It's okay. Like, focus on what you want to be and want to do and everything else. But like, so here you go. So here's the speaking of guilt, like, your brain sometimes feels like you need to feel guilty for being happy. these I am fully in believement of. I think believement is a word. Is that it's pre-wired into us, right? You're not allowed to be happy at school. Like if you're having a laugh with your friends and everything else, you get yelled at. Stop doing that. If you're disrupting people or just having a good time in general, people are usually judging you for having that good time. And I believe sincerely that that's because they're not having a good time. So maybe just like give everyone a break. Like I read something the other day and I can't remember who put it up, but it was pretty good. It was like, can we just let the pumpkin spice latte, yoga pant wearing, early Halloween decorating, Christmas loving people just have their happiness? Like that is the tiny little sliver of joy that they're getting by decorating their home or having their pumpkin spice latte or whatever it is. Don't make them feel guilty about it. Like, but also those people, don't take offense to it either. Like there's two sides to this fence, right? There's the people that are the pumpkin spice latte people, and then there's the people like me who maybe like to make fun of those people. I'm trying to have fun in this situation by making fun of that situation. You're trying to have fun by having a pumpkin spice latte. Now, neither one of them is malicious, or neither one of them should be malicious. So if we could just have a laugh about it and be like, oh, you're the stereotypical person by having your pumpkin spice latte. Ha ha ha. And it's like, oh, you're the stereotypical person that makes fun of us. We can all have fun together. Okay. But yeah, just stop feeling bad about what other people think. It's a made up thing in your brain. You're a good person to so many people. And to some people, you may be a bad person. And that is 1000% correct in so many aspects, because I know for me, I don't treat everyone the same. And that's why those people may think that I'm an asshole. It's not because I'm an asshole. I sincerely am, I believe in my heart of hearts, that I'm a good person. Right? I never get a parking ticket, knock on wood. Like, I don't cheat, I don't steal, I don't lie. Like, I try to do the best for me, and it makes me feel better. If you see it from a different perspective, that's on you. That's something that you have to deal with. That's something that you have to fix in your life, because it's not going to change mine anymore. I'm like I said, I'm trying to distance myself from those kinds of people, and I think that everyone should start to distance themselves from those kinds of people, because it's not healthy for you to be around that. So, speaking of healthy, I'm sure some of you might know this already. There was a post that went out, but I have joined the team at Island Naturals. So shout out to Vineyard Vines. Maybe you'll come and sponsor me. Who knows? Or maybe Yeti. Keeping my coffee nice and hot in this bad boy. So I joined the kids at Island Naturals. More health conscious, more focused on things that I like. Healthy eating, great coffee, great atmosphere, and it is like my mental health got a promotion. It's like it's been sitting there waiting in the wings for 10 years to be able to get into a new space, and man, it's a different world. I have a life. I go for beach walks now. I exercise regularly. I'm getting tanned again. I get to cook almost every night for the doc and I. I just get to experience life again, which is really cool. And I think that, once again, I've said this before in previous podcasts, but if you're struggling with the decision on what to do, just do it. Get out of your comfort zone and just do it. Because no one else is going to do it for you. So just do it. Get involved. And what's the worst that happens? You find another job, or you find another skill, or you find another hobby. Like, all of these things, you can always fix something. If you think that it's a mistake, that's okay. Give it a month or two, and then you can move on. That's cool. But once again, don't let other people's decisions or judgments make the decisions or judgments for you. It's not something that you need in your life. But then, speaking about happiness, let's talk about something that is kind of spicy for me. Oh man. Alright, here you go. So I have been trying to find fun beach walk playlists and artists and everything else. Found a couple of fun ones, but one that popped up the other day, and I went down a little bit of a rabbit hole, and it made me so happy. But let's talk about Justin Timberlake. Yeah. The album came on Future Sex Love Songs or something like that. Anyway, man, it came on when I was on my beach walk, and I started smiling like a goon, like I am now. And it was just my whole mood just improved. And I had a little skippity jump in there. It might have been called in some cultures a dance. I'm not sure that it would classify in other cultures as a dance. But I tried. And I was on the beach, and it was happening, and it was just big tune after big tune. Like, that album, when he's with Timberland, oh man, and 3 6 Mafia, and he's doing a little bit of a rap thing at the same time as just singing his sultry, sweet voice. Man is a legend. And if you don't agree with me, that's okay. I'll dance fight you. That's fine. I'll put some JT on in the background and dance fight the shit out of you. If you don't believe me. If you don't agree with me. But it was crazy. So listening to him, or that album, or anything of his actually. And I often find this on my little beach walks. I have a lot of time to think, and it's usually why I play some music. I get to choose it. I'm a big podcast listener, but I try and listen to music because it clears my head, and it also makes me smile. It puts me in the mood that I am trying to get in for the day. So little JT action was the one, and man, this guy, he just made me so happy in so many different ways. But the main thing that he made me happy for was the fact that as soon as it started playing, it took me back to being like a kid with my sister and all of our little buddies, and when that album sort of came out, and we all started jamming together and watching the music videos on MTV in the living room all together, and trying to learn his little sneaky dance moves. And it got me thinking about all of the other things that have brought me back to my childhood. But some of them that I think that everyone should get on board with, and maybe you should sincerely think about it the next time that it happens, is smells. You should definitely start taking some cognitive thought about smells, because they are magical. I was at work the other day, and our pastry chef, he brought out these beautiful fresh baked muffins, like still hot, like the choc chips in them were like still melting, and the smell just engulfed the whole restaurant, and you could see it was pretty wild. Like everyone's noses just started twitching, and they all like sat up and was like looking around, and like I just thought about that, and I went, that's a pretty wild human experience, is that we can all associate fresh baked goods with something good. Like, I'm pretty sure that that's why they call them baked goods, because they're good and they're goodies. But like I don't know, it got me thinking about smells and everything else that go along with that, and some of my favorites as well. It's like fresh cut grass. I don't know about any of you, but like when I was growing up, my dad used to cut the grass at our house, and I remember being at school as well, and I could hear the lawnmowers. And it used to get me all excited, because every now and then there would be a whiff that would come into the classroom, and it would be that fresh cut grass. And all that I could think about from that moment on was getting out of that classroom and onto that field so that I could just enjoy the smells. It was the best thing ever. But then there's a bunch of other ones for me that are maybe slightly weird. Maybe not, but mud for me is one. Not dust, like mud. If you've ever smelled like clay mud, for me it's magical. I distinctly remember there were a few times we used to have like a little dam in front of our house. Remember, I'm from Africa, so like we have like lions and tigers and bears and stuff running around. Just kidding, it's not a real thing, okay? No, we lived in the suburbs, but we had like this little dam in front of us, and used to dry out like every winter. And as kids, we used to go down there and play in the mud, and we used to throw clay at each other, and we'd play with these things. They were called clay likies, and it's just a reed that you would pull out of the ground, and you'd take a piece of clay and you'd put it on the end of the reed, and you'd whip them at each other, and the piece of clay would fly off at 1,000,000 miles an hour, and it would be like paintball, but just with clay. And like that smell of like mud and clay takes me back to those moments of like being freezing cold because it's the middle of winter, and just playing outside until your toes are numb, your fingers are numb, your lips are blue, and the street lights are coming on, and you know that you have to get home, and well, you're not going in the house until you've rinsed off. So then you stand outside under a freezing tap, trying to rinse yourself off, getting even colder before you go inside, and boom, you walk in the doors, and as you walk in the doors, there's the smell of roast chicken, and life is just better. So I think what I'm trying to say is like, take into account those smells. Like another one for me is if someone cracks a beer, that first smell from the beer, it's usually a Pilsner or a lager. It takes me back to my grandmother, because she used to make me pour her beers for her. Hansa Pilsners. That's what she used to do. She used to make me pour these beers for her. And, well, Todd, don't do that. That's too much head. Oh, no, not enough head. I'm like, oh my God. And it takes me back to that moment, but she was such a gem. And you know, these are parts of your childhood, and like parts of all of these things, you know, are things that I think everyone needs to take cognitive thought of. Stop, like it's a real thing. Stop and smell the roses. We all have to do it sometimes, and I think that, like, when we do this, you have a bit of a reset. So, you know, the next time that you're walking down the beach or anything like that, I walked down the beach the other day, and I was walking up to the Westin Hotel, and as I was walking up to the Westin, the smell was overwhelming of, like, coconut sunscreen. Like, and immediately I just had to have a smile at myself, and I went, this is just about being on vacation. You know, and when you drive around the corner of a big mountain and you open the window and you can smell the rain, or you can smell the new fresh ocean breeze, like, man, just take it in. It is so good for the soul. And, you know, take it in, absorb it, all of these things. I come back from my beach walk, and this is a weird one, but, like, I come back from my beach walk and I'm walking down the street, and I can smell the shampoo that Joe is using in the shower, and it just makes me smile, because that smell of the shampoo and the conditioner and the soap and everything else, it makes me smile because it makes me think of her, and it makes me think of the smile that she gets on her little face. So, you know, it's just little things like that for me. So if there are some smells that you enjoy, like, soak them in and let them be a part of your life, because they really are quite magical. But anyway, those are my little reminders for the day. You know, just chill out, enjoy life, don't listen to what other people have to say, and you know, if something bad happens, you can always fix it. You can always fix it. You can't change it, though. So, in the wisest words of the most incredible animated film I've ever seen, it is The Lion King. Rafiki hits Simba on the head, and Simba turns to him and says, "What was that for?" And he said, "Forget about it. It's in the past." So, forget about it. It's in the past. You can't change it, but you can always fix it. So, go out there, crush your day, and much love, as always.